The story I'm going to tell you takes place in Luke chapter 12, verses 16 through 21. It's a modern day story, it's a Civil War story. But Jesus was confronting a man in Luke chapter 12 that was concerned, basically wanted to use Jesus as a lawyer to settle a land dispute. And Jesus spake a parable unto them in verse 16, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, This will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that layeth up treasure for himself, and is not rich towards God. Now, I can't say that every aspect of that passage applies to the story that I'm about to tell, but certainly parts of it do ring true as you study the story of a man who built his own tomb but never got to occupy it. I plan to be here in Gathland State Park, a 10-mile jaunt between here and Harper's Ferry. And there was a fellow, a journalist and a novelist and a poet by the name of George Alfred Townsend. And his initials, G-A-T, to them he added H to call his estate Gathland. And it was a reference to the book of Samuel, chapter 1 and verse 20, where it said, Tell it not in Gath, publish it not in the streets of Ascalon. He had kind of a unique sense of humor, you might say, as he built that particular place. And this was built in the South Mountain in Maryland, where the AT crosses nowadays. And he built several small homes. It wasn't a mansion, but several homes, as though he planned to have rather quite a bit of company. And he would honor his wife Bess and other people through inscriptions. Of particular interest is this huge monument that he made for all the reporters during the Civil War. And also he made for himself a mausoleum. But interestingly enough, he died when he was in New York, and he was broke in 1914, and he and his wife were buried in Philadelphia. So he never did get to inhabit the mausoleum that he had built for himself and his family. It does remind me of this aspect that you can try to save your own life and lose your own soul, that you can try to save up everything for now, and really, even that is nothing but sheer vanity. His tomb, it's empty. It probably always will be empty, unless people were to take up a collection and try to move his contents to another location. So this man, correspondent, reporter, newspaper man, erected a monument. And you know, the unique thing about this, in putting this huge monument up, they had given this land to the federal government, and it had been promptly forgotten about for decades. Just goes to show you sometimes when we put too much stock in this life that it really doesn't go much beyond this life. Make sure that you lay up treasures in heaven.